Who is Buddy and what is Buddy all about?
Okay, good question. Then I injured my shoulder. 6 months I couldn't play, and I already like built this momentum of like an active lifestyle. So
Hmm.
then my friend said, "Hey, why don't you try pickleball?" Business owners, we've had ministers, we've had like royalty come and play. And sometimes someone might say, "Oh, why is your courts close to triple of another place?"
In the city and I'm working 60 with the brothers on the L, then I think you know the word. All the rest be in the luggage and it's going to a turn. Everybody in the
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Pickleball Bros podcast. We have a very, very special guest today, Buddy from Malaysia. He is the director of PXP
Yep.
in Malaysia. It's in a beautiful, beautiful shopping mall. I visited his facility, and we're going to learn all about that today. And we are looking forward to this podcast. We've been looking forward
Oh,
to this podcast for a couple of weeks now. So thank
always,
you
yeah.
for joining
We
us.
finally aligned our
Yes,
schedules. Thank
yes,
you so much for inviting me on. I was really happy to come on. We've had lots of chats. Thank you for visiting Malaysia and PXP as well. Even with Eric, like we've had lunch together. And yeah, just happy to come on, share what I know, see how that helps the community cross borders.
great. So first of all, the first thing I want to ask you is, who is Buddy and what is Buddy all about?
Okay, good question. So Buddy is not even my real name. So everyone knows me as Buddy. So my name is Jeevan Sian Nagapan. So I'm multiracial, a mix of Chinese and Indian. But this name came about because it was like my childhood nickname. And as I got older, this name just stuck. All my brother's friends knew me as Buddy, or my parents' friends knew me as Buddy. Only my people my age, my friends knew me as Jimin. And once I got into, I did F&B for over a decade, and then I got into advertising, marketing, and sports. I just thought that name was easier to stick to. So who is Buddy? I come from yeah, advertising, marketing background, more specifically in F&B, over a decade of running restaurants, bars, and clubs. Um, Not the healthiest of lifestyles, late nights and a lot of entertaining. Um, Played a lot of tennis when I was a teenager. Didn't touch a racket for 20 years. And then more recently, after COVID, I wanted to get more active, started playing tennis, met a great bunch of friends who were very welcoming. 2 years of tennis, better lifestyle. I like lost 8 kg from tennis, had an injury, and then transitioned into pickleball. Uh, Played even more because it's so easy to pick up a game here in Malaysia. All the courts are indoor, so not weather dependent. Even more active. So in total, my active lifestyle now in 3 years, I lost like 10 kg. I'm feeling it's like less taxing on the body. And so even with my shoulder injury, I could do like 90% of everything in pickleball.
Okay.
And then the more you play, the more you fall in love with pickleball and you have new social circles and uh, you just get addicted pretty much. And it's easy to pick up a game. I had my own business at the time, so kind of like flexible schedule. So I was playing a lot, as all of us do when we first get into pickleball.
Right.
And then the more you play, and then like I didn't go back to tennis.
So like, were you like top junior in Malaysia?
No, no, no. Like, played for my school, went to
Okay.
like almost state player, I guess. But yeah, I'm not some like superstar tennis junior.
Okay.
Just active.
So tell me, how do Malaysian parents like promote sport to their kids? I mean, are they like full on like
Okay.
sport parents or because like my upbringing, like I basically did everything myself. I mean, dad was supportive and stuff, but like he'd come once in a while to see my matches, but I mean, he wasn't, an athlete himself. He was a scholastic kind of person.
Okay.
So I basically did
Um,
everything myself and like, achieve, Division 1 tennis. That was my achievement for tennis.
I mean, and you're so driven to like, self motivate to get to D1, to get to that level.
Yeah,
That's like hats off to you, man.
I just tried, tried out and I made a team, so I was a walk on. Yeah.
Just naturally talented. Okay.
Well, like I just have I had a good work ethic back then, and I'd come in before everybody and then like leave before the
Mm.
last person kind of thing. But like I was just interested about your side on how like Malaysian parents they push kids to learn tennis or
Yeah, okay. Yeah, good question. Um, so Malaysia is multiracial.
uh-huh.
We're made up of Malays, Chinese, and Indian. We're all Malaysian, but we're different cultures. So I myself, my mom's Chinese, my dad's Indian. So I'm called Chindian, if you've ever heard of this word. It's
No.
like we made up a new word that's like a cross culture. Um, so I guess in Malaysians, I can only speak for Malaysians, is yes, there are like tiger moms where like, okay, my kid's showing promise in this sport. I'm gonna like really support it. So my mom was very much like that.
Okay.
Like Serena Williams' dad, I guess. Like
Oh,
would
okay.
just uh take me to the trainings and like we would drive to different states and like compete in other tournaments like that's pretty far. Like you drive a couple hours to
Oh,
the other state to
okay.
compete. I was a decent player, but obviously with tennis, it's such a mental game. That's such a big part of it. And I just back then just not mentally strong. Like I see it now, and it's come full circle that like now that I'm an adult and I'm father, I'm at a young 5-year-old daughter. You're trying to like put in these like values into your child, but you don't know if it's in them, right? Like the grit and the motivation and the like self-driven to improve. And so back then I was just playing not for myself. And now that I've once I restarted tennis, I myself like was tracking my progress, like what I could improve, and just being active, I could see the improvement and the competitive side of me that came up.
Mm,
So to answer for parents, um, in Malaysia compared to like America, I feel America has more potential to like get a sports scholarship or like open
right.
more doors because you excel in sport. There's much less of that in Malaysia. So a lot of parents just choose if you're from middle upper class, it's kind of those parents approach it as like, well, sports is it's good to stay active, but like there isn't much of a future in it.
Mm,
So they don't push it that much. That's why it's very much like make sure you do your studies and go to college and that. Maybe if you are like below middle class, football is very popular. So there are programs where like grassroots programs where kids would get into like feeder academies and they do have aspiration to join professional football teams and academies. So that's the route, I guess.
okay, so like in tennis, did you go to an academy or have a coach or they
Um,
push-
so back then, there weren't academies. It was just private coaches,
okay.
or maybe your school might have a coach. But if you want to take it a bit more seriously, it's pretty pricey to do the private lessons or group lessons. Um, it's tough if you're not, middle upper class to like afford enough lessons to get at a decent level. Yeah, so it's pretty tough.
I see. Okay. So like yeah, like you say, America has, all these academies, right? Nick Bollettieri,
Mm.
you know, now John McEnroe has his own academy and
And it's
they
all of
have
that privatized, or like, could you be accepted to some kind of sports scholarship in those academies?
no, that one is like you have to pay to get in,
Okay.
basically. Yeah. And
Yeah.
like
So we don't back then, especially there weren't even that kind of academies that you could sign up for.
okay, okay, understand.
Hi, everyone.
This is Buddy, and I think you've met before. You had lunch.
Uh, did we?
We
Yes.
We had lunch
did.
together? Okay.
I was surprised too. I when you came on as accepted us as a guest, I saw your face on your profile or somewhere, and I was like, wait a minute, he seems familiar. And I'll tell you where we met. It was very briefly. We had a lunch after the summit. I think it was the first day of the Asia Pickleball Summit back in
Okay.
July 1st.
Yeah.
Mike Lee is the one that brought us to that lunch place in the mall. And
Okay.
I had talked, I think I sat directly across from you, and you were with some woman. I think she was one of your employees, and you had mentioned that you own the pickleball media.
Because it's where we dined. Okay. Did we chat much?
A little bit. I just asked you what you were doing in the sphere and the community, and you mentioned that you had like one of the biggest pickleball media,
Pickleball
and
media
then
in
you told me
Malaysia.
the
Yeah.
name of it, and I was like, oh, I saw that on social media, and I was like, wow, you're conducting that, and I was really excited to hear about that. But we went around the room. I think it was about 6 or 8 of us, so they didn't get to
Okay.
talk too much, but I got to meet
All
you.
right. We'll definitely get to chat today.
So, I visited your facility, beautiful, beautiful courts, beautiful
Mm.
facility, your clubhouse, your bar that you have with all those cool names for drinks.
Yeah.
We're there.
So yeah, I
I'll
forgot.
put
So
I'll
I
put
forgot to
pictures in
mention
the
the PX.
podcast.
I
Yeah,
forgot to mention the PXP part. So
no, it's
um.
okay. I'm gonna ask about that now. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
so what I want to know, I think Eric too wants to know, is like, how did you get involved with PXP, and then how was it that you decided to have it at such a, prime location, and it's a premium club. It's a premium club. It's like beautiful. So
Yeah.
tell us that story, please.
Okay. Sure. Um. So I crossed paths with Qian, the founder of PXP. Um. I had played socially with him uh, at PXP, and then after that, we are just casually chatting, and he kind of asked about my background. And so when he heard I had done a lot of experience in marketing, operations, events, um, social media branding, and I'm so involved in pickleball. I'm like this Venn diagram of like, oh wow, I really want Buddy to join the team because the team's relatively young and new to it. So Ken's a great guy. So we worked it out, and like I joined the team. So PXP was already built at the time, but
Oh,
so Ken has a vision for what PXP is, and so I joined the team to kind of accelerate that vision. Um, so I would say Ken started out with a dream, and I'm helping him with it. So Ken wanted. There's obviously in Malaysia there is a lot of pickleball courts. Um, you could almost say too many pickleball courts. And so to create a differentiation, we went for this like premium niche.
yeah.
So we're in a top mall in Malaysia. It's called Pavilion Damansara Heights.
Mhm.
Very prime location, expensive rent that comes with it. And so we're on the top floor on one end, big space. Mark's gonna show like beautiful pictures of the place. So we're not just pickleball courts. We are think of it as an event space with a restaurant and bar, and we have four premier pickleball courts. So three are premier courts, and one, the most special one, we call it the presidential court.
Mhm.
So it has like nice seating on the side, beautiful windows, and you can see the city and like train go by. Um, yeah, so it was obviously I guess, a big risk of being the first of building such an exclusive venue, but it's paid off well because we are number one exclusive. We work with a lot of corporate clients who do private events. Pickleball brands come and do their press conference and launch with us. We have fortunate that we've had many top pickleball pros come through. We had dinner with them, we'll hit with them. I've sat down to have podcasts, interviews. For example, Franklin founder Jared, I got to sit down. We were invited to interview him, and then after that, Hayden and Paris. We're very privileged to do that. They did their press conference at PXP. Sketchers contacted us, said they wanted to do their event at PXP. We have Tyson McGuffin uh, comes by. He just had 30-minute window. Like he goes to the PXP shop. So he goes to the Sketchers shop at the same mall,
Mhm.
then hops over to our place, does a quick like pickleball kind of like group coaching for like media and KOLs. Then we got to hit with him. So it's been an interesting journey here at PXP, and the people that we meet and the brands we work with very, very interesting.
Yeah, so talking about Kian's vision, could you
Yeah.
tell us a little bit more about that? Because I saw the pro shop. Is that part of PXP as well? The pro shop in front of
Yep. The pro shop is, yes,
okay.
correct. That is part of PXP.
It looks like
So
something that I would see at Wimbledon. It's just so posh. It's like
yeah.
it's beautiful. With all the paddles in the front and the apparel. And give us some insight about what.
Inside that, okay, yeah. So worked with Ken worked with a lot of designers and interior designers. I think definitely Wimbledon was one of the inspirations amongst many inspirations. So that pro shop is very uh, clean cut and displaying it's a full wall essentially to display all the products and brands we work with, nice and spacious. Um, yeah, so beyond that, PXP, the vision was to be a premium venue where it integrates not just pickleball but like good food, and then there's the drinks elements. We work with local producers to create these cocktails on tap with very like quirky, unique names. We've got a massive LED screen where we also do sports screenings. We've had Wimbledon screening, F1, PPA, Asia games we were playing as well. So very much we are trying to make a integrated like sports hub, wellness, and event space.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so a lot of these places, I kind of equate what you have to kind of like a golf club, a golf
Mm,
club, an exclusive country club. And for golf, it's the ultimate sport for networking, meeting people and making contacts. And that's what I kind of felt that this was part of the vision for PXP. Is that true?
that is true. That's a great point you touch on. I think pickleball itself is a great way to meet and network. And PXP is kind of that on another level, the kind of people that come to our doors, a lot of business owners, we've had ministers, we've had like royalty come and play. Um, when we do our social events, also we have a large database that we can rely on. So it's great for networking. That's correct. We in the corporate clients we deal with, they like our venue. There are many who have block bookings, and then on different, uh, let's say they've came same day, same time slot, but they're entertaining different clients on different weeks. We have social events where we get people all to mingle as well. Um, the when you mention like a country club, members club, so it looks very much that way where it's like a members only club, but we do open our doors. We welcome everyone that wants to make a booking. Um, but because of our price point and location and I guess the way the place looks, we get a certain target audience that comes through and likes to rub shoulders with like-minded people.
So do you have like social events where people can actually network and meet other people, or is it just you go there and oh, there's the prime minister, or oh, there's some celebrity, or is it hang
Okay,
around and oh,
so
well, there's Donald Trump, it's like or that.
um, so yeah, separately there are some celebrities or business owners that come through, but our own events are so like the last time the event space we treat it differently than the pickleball courts because that event space independently we have done like social events like there's salsa dance classes, there's yoga, stand-up comedy, like band performances. We're planning a like a singles meet, speed dating, and then play pickleball when you match up.
Oh,
So we've got a lot of creative
wow.
activations that go on that we tap into our database. And so, for example, during PPA Asia Week, um, there were so many pickleball stars that came through. And so, we reach out to them and they've heard of PXP, and everyone's so friendly within the pickleball community. And so we've hosted these stars for dinner, and we invite our like PXP members to come hang out. And yes, you don't meet Donald Trump, but like you got to meet some pro players
Yeah.
during the week. Yeah, we had Anna Bright come through for breakfast, and so a lot of people came, wanted to chat, get titles signed, for example. That was the busiest week to date, the
I see.
PPA week.
Okay, so do people come to you and say, "Hey, I want to have my event at your venue," or do you like always brainstorm and like think, "Oh, we should do this event for this
Okay,
time"?
so good question. One of my key roles is to increase foot traffic awareness and total overall sales and court utilization. So we do have an events very talented events team that all inquiries get dealt with. So a lot of corporate clients contact us. We have a lot of advertising strategies to get more leads in. We also, like you said, brainstorm our own social events to fill up the certain time slots as well, so that the calendar is busy and fun. So the short answer is it is a mixture of all of that
Mhm.
to get more people through the door and having a good time and coming back.
Okay, so nowadays influencers on Instagram or any social media, they're kind of using pickleball as kind of like a stepping stone to make themselves even more popular. I see that a lot with
Mm,
Asian influencers. We're not at that point yet in Japan. Like it's not
okay.
like really cool to be in pickleball. But like you see one
Okay.
post with them playing pickleball and the rest is like, headshot kind of thing. But some
Yeah.
some are like more serious and they do post more pickleball um, you know, posts. But how do you feel about those influencers and like using your facility? Are you like
Okay.
welcoming all those people
Uh,
or
from the perspective of using our facility, we welcome everyone. And yes, we see a lot of that. People new to pickleball, but they book the courts, and it becomes like a photo shoot, and there's not a lot of playing
Mhm.
to get that like content, that nice picture. Um, hey, if you're paying for the court, anything goes as long as you don't damage the court. We see a lot of that. Obviously, pickleball is so popular here; it's such the in thing. Um, I see brands doing like recently we had a t-shirt brand
Mhm.
from another Southeast Asian country, and they did a whole launch at our venue. And so then they invite a lot of KOLs
Yeah.
to try out the clothing, and then they play pickleball on the courts. And you see maybe half of them are very new to pickleball, and they're there for nice photos and also to learn a bit of pickleball. We have coaches there to help out and play a few games. um, it is the in thing, and we see not only KOLs but a lot of brands that see the movement here in Malaysia and
Mm.
want to be part of it. So everyone's piggybacking, riding the wave here at Pickleball.
It really looks that way, and you guys do it the right way too. You have the facility, you have the beautiful attitude that everyone's welcome. It's not like a snobby country club. Everybody is having fun and networking and meeting people, and it's just increasing the popularity of the sport. I think that's just really great.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are very inclusive. It's not some private country club. It's basically anyone who wants to rent the court for an hour. In a bit, I mean, to be honest, like our price point is definitely premium. and business owners, we've had ministers, we've had like royalty come and play. Um,
Mhm.
and so what we tell them is the value that we deliver. So if someone sees the value in the location, the premium facilities, when you look at the court and there's like bottled water provided, there's towel for you to shower after, we have designer um, body soap and things like that. Um, and then the facilities or in that mall you want to have your dinner, your lunch or and all that. So for a certain discerning customer, hey, that's that's their vibe. That's what they want. They like. So
Yeah, there's a lot
so
of
I think
value
it's a
there.
clear
I feel
lot
there's a
of
lot of value
value
there
there. It's
for your premium customer. I really feel that. And they're getting probably more than they they pay for. I think they get a lot of value from your facility.
yeah, exactly.
So I wanted to ask you, like, do you guys have like a 5-year plan, 10-year plan? Where do you see this facility going? And are you going to expand to other like premium malls, premium
Okay, yeah,
out?
good question. So let's say maybe we shorten it. So like let's say a 3 to 5 year plan. We
Mhm.
are looking at other venues within Malaysia and
Mhm.
also Southeast Asia. Looking if we can find suitable venues or partners that align with the vision uh, to bring pickleball to a more premium market. We have taken the steps to start this process. Um, when things align, hopefully, then yeah, we will be opening up other venues as well. But we are, yeah, maybe.
Japan.
Uh,
We need you
Japan,
here.
Japan. We need, yes.
Or at least
We
we
need
need
more
your secret
players.
sauce. Whatever you
Okay.
do to keep ahead of the game. And that was my question. I don't know if I can interject and say,
Go
how
ahead.
Okay.
how do you maintain and keep yourself ahead of any other club? I mean, can any other club be a premium club too? How do you keep in the
Okay.
lead?
Good question. I think it starts from, so it's like a pyramid. So we're the premium at the top on the price point, right? But if you don't have this sector, that means the movement of pickleball, the thousands of players, the demand for pickleball, yet you can't dream of opening that because it's going to be empty. So I'll tell you in Malaysia what had happened. So uh, maybe it got active about three plus years ago. Pickleball, it was around, but like maybe 3 years ago, it started to like on this acceleration of adoption. A lot of people were playing it, and there weren't enough courts. The first court that was premium, that was lifestyle, was called Pickle Social Club.
Mhm.
Everyone has fond memories of Pickle Social Club. Like shout out to them. Uh, it's a great venue. 4 outdoor courts, 4 indoor courts, and they have a restaurant and bar called Noah built next to it. And then there's like Tribe Gym and some other facilities in a great location here in KL. And everyone that helped make pickleball cool. Um, Before that, like people playing tennis, and then they were like, oh, am I? They, to be honest, a lot of people looked down on pickleball back then. Like tennis players would say, oh, it's like too easy. I'm gonna stick to tennis. Uh, and then PSC uh got people to try it and fall in love with it, and it became almost like a cult following because it's so difficult to get a booking. We used to joke it's like when the court bookings open at 8 a.m. by like 8:02, sold out. Like all the courts are like full for 7 days ahead. It's harder to get a court than to get like Taylor Swift tickets. We used to joke
Wow.
like that. And so if you had a booking, it was like, wow, you could invite anyone and be like, oh wow, you got a booking? Yeah, I want to play with you. It's like getting the VIP table in like a club. Okay.
Mhm.
Uh,
So that was the craze. So many players, not enough facilities. And then the next phase after that was a lot of people saw the potential. A lot of business owners, entrepreneurs saw the potential. and said, "Oh wow, that place is so full and hard to get a booking. They must be making so much money." And then fast forward 6 months from that, a lot of people had the same idea, and the facilities were all popping up like mushrooms. And then soon there was too many facilities because everyone had the same idea. And then you see a clear difference between courts that were opened up by passionate players who knew what was important: the surface, the spacing, the bathrooms, facilities, parking, these core things, core USP that makes a good venue, versus someone that's maybe too profit driven and maybe they're not even a player, where they cut corners. So poor quality surface, tight spacing, like very profit driven is simply how to say it. We've even seen horror courts where the court part is as you expect. But can you imagine, like, just beyond the baseline, just beyond the lines, they put like carpet or turf, like futsal. You know how dangerous that is when you step off the court and the grip is different. You can hurt yourself. And sometimes there'll be a pillar next to the court, or the spacing is really tight. So these are the first ones. Once there were so many courts to meet the demand, these courts were the first to close down, because when customers have options, they will gravitate to the best option of that area. So I guess there was this many courts, and then maybe it tapered off of like only the quality courts remained, and now there's still more courts being open um, to kind of support the amount of players. And so a few things happened for the growth. I'll simplify it. Demand was the player growth, facilities to support the growth. Have you heard of Reclub, this app?
Yeah.
Okay. Reclub played a big part to connect the dots, to get players, even if you're solo, you could find your tribe. You could find ladies only play, beginners play, any day of the week, and every hour of the day there's something going on. So that could help, I guess, with the addiction. People could play, and courts were getting filled up. Then tournaments started popping up because people moved through the transition, right? Beginner to novice to want to be competitive. More and more tournaments started getting organized. There were bigger facilities with more courts that could support bigger tournaments. And then as tournaments were getting popular, then brands started coming in. They could see, oh wow, I can see the demand. There's hundreds of people applying for this tournament. So once the brands got involved, prize money got bigger, tournaments got bigger, international people flying in for these tournaments. It's like this whole ecosystem that helped the growth. So fast forward to where we are now. I think within Southeast Asia, we're definitely up there along with Vietnam in terms of growth. I've spoken to a lot of brand owners. They can see the growth. I've spoken to Courtside. So Courtside is number one booking platform, court booking platform here in Malaysia. So I interviewed Aaron Shah, who was very open with sharing the numbers. So 6 months ago, it was 35,000 monthly court bookings. And now 6 months now, closer to double. So, 63,000 was like the highest month recently. So a lot asked the question, is the bubble going to burst? Is it still growing? And the answer very much is this is still growing. There were a few speed bumps in terms of facilities that were not done properly, but the other metrics in terms of amount of players playing, court bookings, courts opening up, brands that are getting involved with tournaments, it's still steady growth here in Malaysia. So I think the view or the lesson is Southeast Asian countries just need to see compared to Vietnam and Malaysia, where they are on the timeline, maybe they're a year ahead or 2 years behind, maybe. We see certain markets see that and they're like, okay, if the infrastructure is getting into place and the players are getting involved, there's massive potential in pickleball. So
Okay,
I
so
know Malaysia market very well. But for the other countries, maybe there's something from Malaysia that they can predict or see the potential in their own markets as well.
okay, so getting back to your timeline, one
Yeah.
question. So was the demand already there when they built PXP? Because
Mm,
last time I visited Tomas, it's a beautiful facility. So
yes.
much space. I mean, there's so much space around the court. In Japan, like sometimes it's just impossible to do ATP. It's like
Okay.
it's so narrow. It's like,
Yeah.
what's this curtain doing here? It's like,
Mhm.
and then like we have other lines from tennis courts. It's like, and we have to scrounge and find these hard
Mhm.
courts because we want to play on hard courts. Eric,
Yeah.
Eric knows a lot about that.
Yeah, we
And
just opened the one in Ginza that has not much space around the sides of it just 4 days ago. But that's our premier court in Shimbashi Station
all
in the
right,
Oh,
flea
wow.
market.
yeah,
Man,
it's
I
one
love
court. It's
Japan.
one court. Yeah,
Yeah. One court.
yeah, one
Okay.
court. It's like.
It's in the mall, like where
It's
in the station.
Yeah, it's in the station, near like it's 3 minutes away from the main station, Shimbashi, and
Okay.
there's
Okay.
actually it's 1.75 courts. This is what they say, but even the one court, there's no space. There's a wall literally right there, and then the other court's right next to it, where the
Yeah.
the, the nets are within a foot of each other, 12
Okay.
inches or some
Yeah.
centimeters. And I think that's where it differs from you. You guys are paying attention to detail. And it
Yeah.
seems like you guys have, I mean, they might as well make a Michelin star guide for you guys, like a 3-star Michelin guide for your pickleball center compared to what we have. But it's the best that we could come up with the space that we're allowed.
Hmm.
Yeah, completely understand. I mean, each space is different, so you do the best you can within that. And also, um, okay, so Malaysia were very fortunate that a few factors that supported the growth. I forgot to mention was um, racket sports is very popular here in Malaysia. So naturally, as the movement of pickleball was growing, it was taking players, like taking market share, like badminton players, squash, tennis, ping pong, table tennis, all started to get involved and like pickleball. And as you know, I guess pickleball at its very core is just a social sport. Like everyone wants a reason to like exercise, hang out, laugh, maybe grab a drink after that. So racket sports was important. We're very fortunate that uh, Malaysia, compared to other nations, we have quite a lot of land and it's not that expensive to develop from the maybe like the construction costs and manpower costs and like I spoke to the founder of Bay Pickleball in Hong Kong. They said it's so difficult to get like approvals and
Hmm.
maybe license and things like that. In Malaysia, it's a bit easier. Um, and we have warehouses that's converted, halls. Um, there's this. It used to be a forest, and then like they just clear it and build up a new facility. So it's very interesting the kind of centers you see here in Malaysia. Very varied. Um, there was even one facility that is in a car workshop. So in an area where it's all just warehouse, small warehouses like of car repair shops, like specialist cars. They're doing up special cars. This guy has a workshop in one, and then he had a second space which was storage. And he said, "You know what? I love pickleball so much. I'm going to clear it and build one personal court for himself." He was playing with his friends and all of that. And then he thought, you know what? I'm going to open it up to public. And so they put it on court side, and it does very well for like private coaching or private games. Just one single court
Hmm.
in there. Um, so also for my interview with Aaron Shah, the founder of Courtside, he said with the platform, it helps all these spaces um, market themselves to such a big audience. So even, for example, a school hall is underutilized on the weekend, they can monetize the hall.
Yeah.
People can utilize it, and there one thing that was good is that there's a lot of automation to that platform, the court side, where it can like unlock the door for you and on timer, on the light and all. So these tools help any facility cut costs and be able to do good business actually.
So, what do you see for pickleball in Malaysia for next year?
Okay. So what I've seen in the past year to predict what happened the next year is it was a lot of social players, but now a lot of people are taking it very seriously. Um, the level of play has accelerated by so much. Um, People are drilling, people are playing with better players. The techniques, everyone is developing really good technique. What I predict for the upcoming year is I think the tournaments are just getting bigger. As you know, PPA Asia, the top in the world, flew into Malaysia to compete.
Yeah.
This really like puts it on the map. Recently, there was Pickleball World Cup, and so even Malaysia sent a team to compete in Florida. Um, I just see more and more brands getting into the market. From the brands I speak to, they are telling us Vietnam and Malaysia is kind of leading uh, big markets of potential for them. And also, there are other markets coming up, but we have like a large amount of players. And from a business perspective, large amount of players is one thing, but what is the spending power of this group? And
Mm.
so, in that way, Malaysia is very interesting to a lot of these brands. If you even see Eula come up with new colorways with their paddles
Yeah.
for Asia Pac, you notice they made two special ones, one for Malaysia, one for Vietnam.
Oh.
Special color for these two markets. So that's a clear indication like, okay, they want to market to these two markets, you know? So I just see continued continued growth, more international players coming through, brands coming through to set their footprint here in Asia because from the brands I speak to, America is on a certain trajectory, but if they allocate more focus and resources to Asia, I think it's big money potentially for them.
Yeah, so I noticed that, a lot of pros, not only from Japan, but from the United States, are moving to Malaysia. I think two of them, I saw
Hmm.
their Instagram. She's from United States and another guy from United States. They're moving to Malaysia and they're showing,
Is it Jas and Roman?
yeah, showing the medical facilities that you have there. So she was getting intravenous or something and saying,
Yeah, she's doing like IV drips. Yeah.
IV drip, and so this, I do that in Japan, like vitamins and stuff when I'm feeling like, kind of sick and I need some boost. But like beautiful medical facilities, you know.
Mm-hmm. And really good pricing here in Malaysia for recovery and treatments like that. Yeah, I spoke to them about it. So they are gearbox athletes
Yep.
and they came here to check it out and they enjoyed the lifestyle, made so many friends, um, podium in a few tournaments here. And so I guess they fell in love with Malaysia. And so they just recently signed a lease, a 1 year lease to stay here in Malaysia. Um, yeah, I think if you come to Malaysia and you make the amount of friends.
I got all
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So Justin Roman fell in love with Malaysia and they're doing the podium in a couple of tournaments. And yeah, I think that basically the cost of living in Malaysia is pretty good. and the level of play is pretty high. And so, if you want to compete in various tournaments, there's potential prize money. Build a whole network of here in this city that's booming. I think that helped their decision to move here and at least spend a year here promoting Gearbox and competing professionally.
Yeah, it's so tempting to, not go to Malaysia. It's like so. I'm telling Eric all the time, let's go to Malaysia.
Oh yeah.
Everything's there. They
Yeah,
speak English. It's easy to get around. There's so much.
food's great. Yeah,
Food's good and people are
maybe every
nice.
quarter you just drop by.
Yeah, and then like here we have some, it's sometimes frustrating, there's not enough court space and you know there's not enough people to play and we can't find a partner and all kinds of things.
Mm,
Let's talk about that, about Japan. And it just looks like it's just so much easier. And I know it is much easier in Malaysia than it is in Japan to do things. And that's a big factor when it comes to attracting pros to come to Malaysia.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think a lot of these pros, if you're in that phase of your life where like you want to play better players, improve your game, compete in top level tournaments, hey, I think then Malaysia sounds very appealing.
Yeah, that's great. That's great information for us. You know, Sometimes we're banging our heads in Japan, how to get the community bigger, how to promote the
Mm.
sport, why don't we have more designated courts, all kinds of things like that, but maybe Eric can ask you.
And when I go there, I have a good impression. I go there because they have tournaments there. So if you build tournaments there, I think international people will come.
Yeah.
And so I've gone there and I'm wondering, I've heard it just offshoot from various people that live there saying, let's show Eric the Malaysian hospitality and why we're number one. Um, Maybe it's obvious to you, but like, where did that come from? Where did people come up with this idea? Is it just the two people that I met? It was Dan, he was like a pickleball friends or pickleball buddies social media group, and then there was also Jackson Kim, who's a really good media influencer.
Hmm.
Where did they get this idea? I'm new to it, and I didn't really ask, but I'm just curious. Maybe you know
The
about it.
term was what was it? Malaysian hospitality or was it something else?
I think it was. Let's show them our Malaysian hospitality, and they literally took me
Okay.
to eat dinners with them, and I barely
Yeah.
knew them.
Yeah. Yeah. So yes, Malaysian hospitality is the term. Um, there's something about Malaysians that we're like eager to please, especially like if we get a good vibe of you, we will decide to show you like great hospitality. And once we decide that, we're like, whoa, we'll pick you up from the hotel and I want to show you like these great places to eat and take you to this like street market and like it's about us like sharing our culture and what we love. Like you need to experience it and like it's almost like you need to like fall in love with it as well and like leave this country and tell your friends. Like it's almost like that. Malaysian hospitality is like that. And and yeah, it is surprising that someone would take time out of their day to like show you and bring you around and be so passionate about like showing you their favorite place to eat and hope that you like it as well. And you got to try like different Malaysian food. That's Malaysian hospitality for you, which a lot of people fall in love with.
And it's working because I go back to Japan or I go back to America, and I tell them such wonderful experiences I had over in Malaysia, besides the tournament, and it just leaves a good impression on me. And I'm wondering if that's your guys or your strategy to pull in and like take all the talent from all over the world and pull them into the country and just drain the talent from any other country. I feel like that's your secret strategy you guys are doing over there.
Yeah, it might be a small part of it, but all of it has to work, right? Like, yes. So we need to get people over, show them a good time, and of course, food's great and all the pickleball facilities. So that's another part of it. Like we're always so um, eager to show people our facilities as well. Like, pickleball hosts will be like, oh yeah, you like pickleball? Like, okay, I'll take you to this place. And then like tomorrow we check out this other place and you try two places. That's also part of Malaysian hospitality. Like you get to play all around. And like pro players come through, if they reach out to any active like pickleball players, we will like organize games for them. Like I see people in groups, it's like, hey, I've got this player from this country. He's a 5.0. Who wants to play? You got to be like above 4. And then like people sign up, and we're just eager to play with good players. Uh, yeah, pickleball community is just so welcoming. So honestly, like anyone who's like planning a holiday in Malaysia, reach out to someone or honestly, like you don't even have to know them. If they're like active in pickleball, you say, hey, can you recommend me like good places to play? They'll give you a list. And maybe they'll say, when are you free? I'll organize a game.
Oh,
That's the
wow.
secret.
That's really nice. Yeah, because we have a lot of inquiries in Japan about people wanting to like play, and I try and like arrange stuff for people, but sometimes I cannot go, but I show them the way.
Mm.
They appreciate me, finding them places to play.
Mhm.
What? Okay,
Build on that
yeah.
is like PXP does organize that as well, actually,
Okay.
as a service. So we can organize like the tour, like actually like put them in like a hotel nearby, and then we organize can either be like coaching sessions at PXP, or like we can organize like playing with pro players,
Oh,
and
wow.
then we can also bring them to other facilities to check out and then continue their sessions at PXP. So we are actually developing this program. Um,
Oh, it's like a getaways kind of like tour guide type of
yeah. So
local tour kind.
we're taking the Malaysian hospitality and making it a service that's premium.
Oh,
So something like that for the right client, and you think PX suitable for PXP, send them our way. But for everyone else, the other way I recommend it, which you just reach out to other active Malaysian pickleball players, and
mhm.
they'll show you around at the other facilities as well.
Yeah, I think we need to get Reclub kind of site up in Japan. There's a lot of sites, but there's no one
Mm.
consolidated one at the moment, and I think that's an issue here we have in Japan.
Okay, that that's super important. That the community is in generally one place. Business owners, we've had ministers, we've had like royalty come and play. Um,
So, last question. Do you have any advice for us in Japan, how to grow the community or how to go about the next, few quarters of the
okay.
year to grow pickleball? We don't want to be too far ahead, but then we don't want to be lagging behind. And we are behind right now, but behind Malaysia and Vietnam. Any advice for us?
Ooh, that's a complicated question
Yeah.
because
Sorry to put you on the spot.
yeah, I mean I can explain why it worked in Malaysia, but obviously it's culturally different in Japan,
Mhm.
and um so it goes back to being that ecosystem that feeds each other. So you need to have interest in the game, facilities to support players that want to play. Then there was online platforms or apps to connect players who are keen to play. And then when there's within that group of players, it becomes different levels of beginner, move up to novice. And then the step above that is like, oh, I want to challenge myself. I want to compete. Then there was tournaments being organized. Then tournaments were really small in the beginning in Malaysia with like no prize money. And then suddenly something switched and it was like, oh, cash prize. And then brands were like, oh, I'll give like cash prize and paddle. And then everyone started taking it very seriously. Um, and then because there's that spirit of competition, like people start to, I want to play with better players. I start getting coaching. Um, and then there must be facilities to keep opening up to support all these interests and growth. So, and it's like a cycle. Everything's growing not too fast, not too slow, but to support each step of this
Mm.
growth. So I'm not familiar with Japan, obviously, and just from what you have said, space is limited to build enough courts. The step above that is like tournaments and people who want to do coaching. I guess you're at, let's say, at step one, two, or two, which is get people involved and community built. Um, Let them try the sport. Let them fall in love with the sport, and hopefully, little pockets of players pop up throughout the city and different cities where, hey, you don't need a fancy facility to play. In a lot of places, as long as you have like a badminton court, a public hall with the lines, um, you can start playing. You don't need fancy paddles, you don't need a fancy net. You can order stuff off online, um, and actually you could tape lines on the floor and start playing. So it shouldn't be a deterrent. If people have the desire to play, they'll find a way.
Yeah.
But how do you spark that desire in different communities to start playing? And once there's many communities playing, then you get the communities together, like mini interclub, let's play and compete, and things like that. So I want to rewind to when I first started playing pickleball, which was about 3 years, maybe 4 years ago now. Beginning stages, there was no PSC, there was no fancy facility. I saw it on a Facebook group where it said like pickleball Damasara group. It's like an area, and they were posting some games, and I messaged and said I live in this area. I would like to try this sport. And so this really kind person messaged me and said, "Oh, where do you live? How many times have you played?" And like, okay, why don't you come to my condo? So like my apartment, invited to his apartment, and I played on the badminton court. And so this gentleman, um, he had to invest a lot. Like he bought the net, he bought extra paddles from America and the balls, and it's all cost. And he was just happy to introduce new people to play the sport.
Mm.
Um, and I thought that was so genuine of him to play. And so there were little hosts, pickleball hosts like this, popping up everywhere around Malaysia, who just genuinely wanted to grow the game, grow the interest. And so I think this is an important beginning step of these are your like foot soldiers on the ground
Mm.
who just want to spread the word, spread this love for the game. And so I hope some way you can inspire that in Japan to get a movement going, and more things will fall into place.
That's great advice. Thank you so much, buddy. Eric, any last thoughts?
We are starting to get pockets of people, I think, in different cities. I'm kind of noticing like there's captains
Mm.
in different
Mm.
cities, and we have most of our facilities are indoor gymnasiums for any type of multiple sports.
Mhm.
We have those, but I don't think what we do well is getting the publicity out because a
Yeah,
lot of these um, facilities are indoor. You don't hear the loud banging of the
the pop.
ball.
Yeah.
No one sees it. And so I think we just starting to get like we just had one of the most popular parks in downtown Tokyo put in some temporary facilities and just had it televised. So that's just starting out. So what you're
Mhm.
saying is kind of just outlining everything that we're doing, but we're in the early stage, and I just hope
Early
that we can
stages.
accelerate that. So yeah, you're spot on. It just sounds like what you've already done is what we're going through right now. We need to
Yeah.
speed it up and get facilities so that way we get all types of things to happen for pickleball, not just on the advertising, but also on the pro playing competitive level too.
Mm,
Thank
mm,
you.
mm. Yeah.
This is
Okay.
really it's really good, Eric. This is like great information for us.
You write all the notes down? We need them.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's
You just
recorded,
gotta run
so
the transcript through like an AI program, and you'll
Yeah.
you'll you'll get the
oh, yeah,
points.
definitely. buddy, thank you so much for your time. We
Yeah,
really appreciate it. Thank you for being on the Pickleball Bros podcast and our favorite country to go to play
yeah,
pickleball.
for sure. Thank you so much for inviting me. Always happy to. This has been a great chat. Like really had a good time. I'll see you in Malaysia. I'll see you in PXP, and I love Japan. I've been there twice. Play some pickleball with you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm in
Okay.
Osaka and Eric's in Tokyo, so you got two
Okay.
connections.
2 places.
Yeah, and we have
Okay.
good sushi here and Kobe beef. So, okay, thanks so much, buddy. Really
All
appreciate it.
right. Cheers, guys. Have a
Okay.
great day.
Cheers.
Call me in the city and I'm working 60. If the brother's on the L, then I think you know